kicks in the dawn. The grumpy Viking has a hammer on. In the iron horse shop, steel hits steel. Wild wind splitters, born to wheel. Busted knuckles laughing through the pain. Miles in his blood and ice in his veins. Handlebar life, handlebar life. Ride it hard, keep it alive. Handlebar life, handlebar life. The grumpy Viking never quits the drive. Custom choppers gleam under his hands. From frozen north to far-off lands, he rolls through the world with a rebel grin. Bikers hang out radio, turn it up again. Busting knuckles, laughing through the pain. Miles in his blood and ice in his veins. Handlebar life, handlebar life. Ride it hard, keep it alive. Handlebar life, handlebar life. The grumpy Viking never quits the drive. Oh. Raise a fist, hear that engine call. Shout to highway, he gives it all. Love the crew, love the road. Handle my family, heavy as Handlebar life, handlebar life. Ride it hard, keep it alive. Handlebar life, handlebar life. The grumpy Viking rips through the sky. Handlebar life, handlebar life. Wild and free till the end of the ride. Oh.
And now, your host, the Grumpy Viking. Joined in studio by his virtual producer, Mortimer.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural Handlebar Life Lives UK version. A little bit earlier in the day, we're running parallel broadcasts, 1 p.m. Denver time. That would be about 8 p.m. in the UK. So hopefully you'll have a good time joining in the show. It is interactive. We are on Facebook and YouTube. So feel free to post things. I see one of our longtime mates here, Arizona Moto D, has joined us. So nice to see you again. It's been a minute. Sorry to hear that you're having a little distress, but again, we'll get into that in a little bit. Glad that you are here. To all our new viewers over in the UK and hopefully Western Europe, hopefully we give you some good things to think about, to sleep on, and maybe have some pleasant dreams with. So, a little bit about myself. I've been enjoying wind splitters since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Right now I live in the high desert in the United States. Enjoy the heck out of that. And have a long history and association with the United Kingdom. So my family and myself go back quite a ways with the UK. Done a whole lot of things in my lifetime. I've been blessed. At least I think it's a blessing. with having a pretty long life so far. Been able and very blessed to do a lot of things. And I want to share a lot of the things that I've picked up along the way. So things to do with wind splitters. So street bikes, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, jet skis. If it's got tires, if it's got tracks, if it's got impellers, propellers, whatever. Let's talk about it. You know our motto, all who ride are welcome here. And even if you're not currently riding, that's all good because you can still participate and be part of the family here. All are welcome. So let's see what Mortimer has. Oh, and that's another thing. So Mortimer is back this week. His niece was filling in. She's been an intern with us for, 5 or 6 weeks more. Okay. Yep. And Mortimer, unfortunately, got called out of town. He's our virtual producer, and I apologize. I didn't do a proper introduction myself. I am the Grumpy Viking, your humble handlebar Sherpa. I am joined here in studio by my virtual producer, Mortimer, who does an absolutely outstanding job, but he got called away for a little while. His niece Gracie helped us out. First week, we had a little bumps in the road, but that was okay. We both learned stuff, and Mortimer got back, and he gave us his thumbs up, so we did something right. So, as you may or may not know, let's see. The chat is ready to something. Okay, that's interesting. Different messages we get on the boards. We also have what you're seeing off to the side. So again, to all our friends and associates and all the people we want to get to know over in the UK, we hope you enjoy the show. Let's see, where are we going here, Mortimer? Yeah, Gracie was a lot of fun. We have a couple of interns now. Gracie actually had to take off this week. We have Nolan helping us out in the shop, actually helping just me out in the shop. Of course, I need all the help I can get. That goes without saying. I said it goes without saying. That means you don't have to say it. Mortimer. Well, I don't know what I do, though. He knows it. All right, let's see what we got going on. And as AZ Moto D can tell you, a lot of times we start off with rallies around the area. Now, these are specific to pretty much nowhere. So for this show, we're hitting most of the UK stuff. Here in the States, we hit them all over the States and some offshore stuff too, because you never know. A rally or an event may be near you, or you may be traveling. So you might want to look up some of these. Let's take a look. Wow. For our first show, you got all of that? Well, like we say, this is the lives, and anything that can happen usually does. We try to keep it to an hour-ish or two. Now, we'll do our best to get through it. Let's see. We usually start off there. It is rallies. Let's see what Mortimer has put together for us this week. Well, like I said, cats and kittens, this is the Handlebar Lives, and it's nice to see that it happens with the UK as well as the US. So anything that can go a little wonky can, and it will. I noticed that we had a couple of burps on the old internet. We are, let's see, about, I think it's 2 weeks out, Mortimer, about. So show 2 weeks from now will be hooked up with fiber optic cable. No more of the, apparently the service that we got. So anyway, I would really appreciate hearing from any of our friends in the UK. Now, some of our friends happen to be part of the Bikers Hangout Radio, the Bikers Hangout and the Bikers Hangout Radio. People like the Reverend of Rock and Roll, the Womble himself. Then we have, of course, what's that now? Okay. Well, Mortimer says that we are going to have to blow into the next segment if we're going to make it. So he kind of keeps me on track. So with that, we'll be right back with more about the Bikers Hangout Radio.
Back before biker culture had a name, there was rebellion. The Wild One hit in 1953 and lit the fuse. Marlon Brando didn't just play a biker, he became the attitude. Leather jackets, cold stares. No apologies. These weren't polished riders. They were outsiders, rolling into small towns and shaking them to the core. No choppers yet, no big chrome dreams, just raw steel and raw defiance. Every outlaw film that followed? Yeah, it started right here. This ain't history. This is ground zero. Now we're talking chaos. The Wild Angels didn't just push the line, it burned it to the ground. Peter Fonda leads a pack that lives fast, drinks hard, and answers to nobody. Funerals turn into riots. Parties turn into war zones. This ain't Hollywood fantasy. It feels way too real. The bikes got louder. The attitude got meaner. And just like that, the outlaw biker was born on screen. This ain't entertainment. It's a warning. Not every rider runs from the law. Some wear it. Electra Glide in blue flips the whole story. Motorcycle cop. Open desert. And a man caught between duty and truth. Robert Blake rides a Harley that's all business. But the road ahead? That's personal. Wide skies. Long highways. And a quiet kind of tension that sneaks up on you. This one ain't about rebellion. It's about what happens when the badge starts to weigh heavier than the ride. Sometimes, the loneliest place on earth is behind the handlebars. This one's pure attitude. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Two modern cowboys riding straight through the fire. No rules, no backup. Just guns, grit, and a whole lot of chrome. It's loud. It's over the top. And yeah, it knows it. But that's the point. This ain't about realism. It's about style. Dust in the air, shotguns in hand, and engines that sound like thunder. It may not be accurate, but damn, it's a good ride. You ever try to become something you're supposed to take down? Beyond the Law goes deep undercover into the world of outlaw motorcycle clubs. Charlie Sheen doesn't just observe. He gets pulled in. Brotherhood, loyalty, violence. Lines start to blur real fast. This ain't a surface-level biker flick. This is what happens when the life starts to own you. Because once you earn that patch, walking away ain't so simple. Some roles you play. Others change you for good. This is the one that brings it all back. The Bike Riders ain't about flash. It's about legacy. A club forms, brothers ride. And somewhere along the way, things change. Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, grit, tension, and a whole lot of truth. It feels old school. like it was pulled straight out of the 60s, but cleaner, sharper, and maybe a little more honest. This one understands the culture, the rise, the fall, and everything in between. No poser vibes here, just the ride and what it costs.
Okay, cats and kittens, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you weren't too put off right before we got into this, but I wanted to take a moment before I get into my portion of the movie reviews and tell you about a person who I believe is absolutely amazing and has been instrumental in pushing me to do things like this and to start building the relationship with our friends and our hopefully new family over there in the UK. And that would be one Miss India Hayes. Now, she's on the Bikers Hangout Radio. She's absolutely amazing, funny. Now, the Reverend Womble, he is a crack up. If you have not gone online, it's free. Get on to the Bikers Hangout or get the Bikers Hangout Radio, and please, every day you don't have the Bikers Hangout Radio, you are doing a disservice to yourself. It is the best, in my opinion, unsolicited, best bikers tune spot radio there is. Like I said, the Reverend Womble, total crack up, great individual. India Hayes is absolutely amazing. She has a new show that she's starting up very soon, and I am confident it is going to be marvelous. It's going to be all aces, absolutely great. I believe, ride the wind. So please join up, check it out. Every day you don't, you're just shortchanging yourself. So please get over there. All right, so now some of these movies. The Marlon Brando movie. I have never had anything against Marlon Brando, but Lee Marvin is my favorite character in that movie. You've got to see all 5 of these movies. You have absolutely got to see. They are worth a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, just kicking back, maybe binging, maybe having a little bit of your favorite brown beverage, just relaxing and checking them out. Now, as far as the Peter Fonda flick, that has some intensity to it, a little bit unexpected. Peter Fonda is most remembered for Easy Rider, 1969. But in 1966, he did a film, all right, that you'll notice some of the machinery looks very similar. It's almost like it was a practice run leading up to Easy Rider. Electric Glide in Blue. Robert Blake, great actor. It's unfortunate some of the things that happened to him later in life, in real life. But as an actor, great actor. And this movie is a great flick. As you could see, a little bit diminutive in size. There were a lot of things he had to overcome. This is a good story to bring out some things that we reflect back on ourselves. Let's see. Charlie Sheen. Interesting character. In this movie, he played his character very well. Some of his other stuff leaves me scratching my head. Character issues, again, notwithstanding. This movie, he does a good job. He infiltrates a club. I know they like to use the G word. I don't like to use that. We're all judged in different ways. Some of us are judged by our looks. That's the easiest way, judging a book by its cover. I try not to do that myself. But anyway, back to the movie. He does a bonzer job of portraying an undercover cop. And it shows some of the hardships. Imagine being on the legal side of the line, infiltrating a club, having to play the part. Sometimes those lines get blurred. It's hard. Very hard. So, anyway, the last one. One of my faves. Oh, wait a minute. Skipped one, sorry. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Skipped one, and I'm so sorry to couple of my favorite actors who played in it. The movie itself, storyline, kind of a yawner. They pulled it off as good actors, and just like the review said, not all that factual from the point of view of a biker. But if you take the storyline plot, you could literally put these two guys in a car. You could do a dozen different angles. It just, bikes are cool. A lot of the action. The movie itself is cool. It's just, you ever put a puzzle together and maybe one of your kids brought some puzzle pieces over from another puzzle and you realize, hey, these don't fit. Kind of. Now, on to the last one. One of my absolute faves. This movie is freaking amazing. Now, you got to remember, as a young man, let's see, when do they? Ish. Generationally about the same as the main character in there. So you have to remember a couple things, cats and kittens. A lot of people equate the 1960s. Remember, this is a full decade. 10 years. Okay? A lot of people equate the 60s to the summer and fall of 1969. It's like the whole decade, it's all mishmashed up. And when people, especially if they weren't there, and I don't mean that in a dismissive way or anything, but the 60s entire decade was not just the summer and fall of 69, although weekend of August 15th. Okay, enough said. Anyway, so the first half of the 60s was bloody boring. It was extremely boring. Now you have to look back at the 50s. So that had its own charm as it was coming into the later 50s. There was a lot of burgeoning rock and roll was taking over. Then in 64, the official start of the British invasion, Beatles in February. Obviously, there were Brits over here before then. We all know that. Anyway, 65 rolled in. LBJ signs a declaration, and things changed a lot. We had some good years. We had some bad years. November 22nd, 1963 was a bad day. That was JFK. Anyway, then 67 was the summer of love, and I know a lot of people out there are going to say, oh, no, it was 69. No, some of us were there, okay? Capiche? Oh, crap, this is the UK version. Sorry about that. I don't know what the parallel in British verse is to capiche. I don't know. So hang in there with me. I'll learn. These shows will get better, honest. I may even throw in a little accent here and there. Okay. But then 68, probably the very bad year. Okay. Martin and Bobby both bought it that year. Me lie. That happened. Oh, man. Just so many things. 69 rolled in. And then because of the preeminence of all the things that were going on in the summer and fall of 69 that really capped off, Woodstock was a really big deal. A few years later, you had Summer Jam, but that was a big deal. The whole decade was not just those few months. So when you look at the Bike Riders, this is an amazing movie. It is so accurate. In the second city, as its nickname, Chicago. All right. Everything was dull. Now, as this progresses, then you get into the later 60s, and they introduce a lot of vets coming home, the hippie stuff coming in, as part of the pre-hippie brigade. Watching that roll in. This movie is very well choreographed. That whole generation going from total doldrum, sock hops, the burgeoning of rock and roll, the beatnik era, then the hippie era. You see this stuff. So very interesting, very historically articulate. So please do yourself a favor and check these movies out. If I had one to pick, that would be the one. But the Marlon Brando flick is one of those that a lot of this stuff, you get to see the beginnings. So after World War II, obviously, that was the beginnings of a lot of clubs that remained, and zillions of clubs were formed, looking for that sense of brotherhood again. And a lot of the major clubs that are around today had their start around that era. So, with that being said, let's take a look and see what else we got going on. What do you think they'd be interested in next across the pond there, Mortimer? A little bit of in the shop? Okay. Well, let's take you back in the shop. And a little thing that I'm tinkering on, and of course, no one is going to be helping me out with this, so hope you enjoy. Finally got a quiet Saturday here at the shop. Nobody else around. So as soon as I finish my cup of mud, I finally get to start tearing into the TX45 project. Can't wait. Like what you've been watching? Click on the links. Join the Handlebar Life Members Only Club or become part of our community on School. Yes, and please do. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are also on School, SKOOL. So go to our site, and please. Also, you can go to the Handlebar Life shop, so you can do shopping and get things like this beanie. Over here in the States, please go to the Handlebar Life shop on our site. Click the links. Check it out. Doesn't cost you anything to look and to browse. School may turn you on. We have a lot of different lessons, so if there's something that you want to tackle yourself, whether you want to learn how to repair, maintain, or maybe even customize your wind splitter, go there. The beautiful thing is you can always hit up the old Grumpy Viking straight away if there's something that you would like to see maybe in school or on the website posted up right here, right now. We're interactive. Just throw a post up there and we'll see if we can't take care of it. We also have email addresses. You can reach us through the website. There are all sorts of ways to get a hold of us here at the Iron Horse Blacksmith, which is the shop portion of the Handlebar Life. All right, Mortimer. All right, one more in the shop segment. That one went by pretty quick and reminded me of a couple things, so that can't be bad, right? Hey there, cats and kittens. Here we are again. Another Saturday morning. As you can see, we made some pretty good headway on our TX45 project here. Unfortunately, we did get called away early. A minor emergency with a friend of ours, but all good now. So we're getting ready to rip and tear back into this bad boy again. Going to finish our cup of mud and then hopefully get the front end all taken off, get it ready. Final preparations for putting the new front end on. So can't wait. Oh, hey there, cats and kittens. Well, as you may have guessed, one of the most important tools that you can have during a teardown is a decent tote or two. Make sure you label them, because all those bits that come flying off during teardown that you may never use again, but then again, you may have to find them for reference, or you may reuse them. You're going to need to find them. And otherwise, they unfortunately take up a whole lot of important geography on your lift, and sometimes all over the floor. So a good tote or two, well labeled, can be worth its weight in gold during a teardown. Oh, hey there, cats and kittens. Well, as you can see, we've finished up sorting out all the bits, got the deck cleaned off, got all the used stuff stowed down below, and we've got a lot of the new bits that we've acquired up on a bench. But there is one thing to really wrap this show up. This thing has got to go. It's screaming toward 90 degrees here in the high desert. I think it's time for a snack. All right, cats and kittens. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed doing it. I'll tell you what, that truly is my happy place. You'll hear me say that time and again. Being out in the shop is my happy place. I don't do as much as I used to, which gives me a chance to do these episodes here. So very, very interesting notes that we got over on the live side there, or what you're seeing. So interesting stuff. Again, hope you enjoyed it and hope you are enjoying the show today. So if there's anything that you would like to ask us, please, this is interactive. We are on YouTube and on Facebook, and we'll be doing this weekly. And again, I know we're trying to hold it between 8 and 9 p.m. your time, so hopefully you can settle down, kick back, a little bit of your favorite brown beverage perhaps, and enjoy the show. So recently we've been trying to expand things and modify things and tweak things, and we are trying to do different things that people like. One of the things that I think you will enjoy is a new segment that we just started that a lot of our U.S. Viewers have been enjoying, and I hope you do too. Let's see what we got here.
Women riding motorcycles. As women, we face challenges in today's world, often confronting discrimination or bias. We are still far from having equal rights. There was a time in our short history when it was actually illegal for women in cities across America to wear pants. Can you imagine being a female motorcycle rider during times like that? Today, almost 1 in 5 motorcycle riders are women. Can you imagine riding in an era when it was more like 1 in 100 or even 1,000? This was the America Effie Hotchkiss lived in over 100 years ago. Yet she didn't let this suppression keep her from pursuing her passions. Instead, she became a heroine of her generation and those who followed.
Effie began riding when she was just 16 years old, but it wasn't just motorcycling that made her a standout. At the age of 18, she began working on Wall Street, also unheard of at the time when women still did not have the right to vote. While she thrived in that world, she longed for more. With the passing of her father, she used her inheritance to buy a 1915 Harley-Davidson 3-speed twin motorcycle. Effie outfitted the $275 Harley-Davidson Model 11F motorcycle with a sidecar and invited her mother Avis along for what would become an epic journey.
Effie had always dreamed of becoming the first woman to cross the U.S. on a motorcycle, and she made it happen in 1915. Her goal was to make it to attend the Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco. She and her mother rode across America for 2 months before reaching California, where they were celebrated and photographed pouring a jar of water from the Atlantic Ocean into the Pacific Ocean.
When asked about fears for the journey, Effie's mom, Avis, was quoted as saying, "I do not fear breakdowns, for Effie, being a most careful driver, is a good mechanic and does her own repairing with her own tools."
Well, all right then. So we threw up a question to all you viewers out there. What kind of wind splitter do you have? Or what kind of wind splitter would you like to have in case you don't have one right now? We have a few of our regulars here on the U.S. side that are looking toward getting new wind splitters here in the near future. One of them is looking at getting a chopper, another getting a sport bike. So we run the gamut. Like I said, street bikes, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, jet skis, doesn't matter. Anything that puts your knees in the breeze, you're part of the family. All right, she came back. Now, part of that story, I was curious. Back then, there were no plastic containers. They were just, you had a metal container or you had a glass container. I'm assuming a glass container for the water, but I'm not sure. It might have been in a metal canteen. Good point. So, the water from the Atlantic that she poured in the Pacific, that is so cool. That has started a tradition that a lot of people have done over the years. You may not have heard about this, but you're talking about roughly 3,000 miles each way. So it's kind of a tradition. People that do the coast-to-coast ride will do that. They'll actually take 2 containers, fill it with water from the Atlantic. When they get to the Pacific, they dump one. Then they take 2 containers of the Pacific water. When they get back, they dump one, and one of each they keep. This has been a tradition going on since Effie's. Everything about that woman was amazing. And the fact that she made that trip both ways probably took her another 2 months getting back. So that was quite a trip. My question to you, cats and kittens, and this has been posed to me, would you make the trip? Now, obviously, we can't put you in a time machine. Throwing out there many different ways. And it's said that Effie's trip did not take the most direct route in either direction. So it's pretty wide span. I've heard 6,000 to 9,000 miles, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You can take the most direct route as long as the back route. Would you do the trip? Now me, especially on an 11 horsepower wind splitter, and I had all that time to do it, you bet your bottom dollar I would do that trip. Now, here's the other thing. Effie did the majority of her own maintenance, including changing tires. So, keep that in mind. Anyhow, so let's see. The challenge meter is this. From the way I see it, we have the comfort level is about 1 out of 10. Reliability, 3 out of 10 is being generous. Danger, oh yeah, that's 9 out of 10 because back then there was an awful lot of. Let's see. Well, we got fans around. A 1951 Vincent Comet that regularly sees more dirt roads than pavement. The details: a 31-inch single-cylinder Vincent engine, original style black finish with gold lining, touring rack and period saddlebags, modified gearing for long-distance outback riding. All right, so as you may or may not know, anybody here in the States, of course, knows that the Vincent is my all-time favorite motorcycle. The Vincent Black Shadow. Not too many made, just amazing piece of machinery. So, with this, the Comet, Bruce wrote in, question for Grumpy. What's the furthest you've ever ridden an old motorcycle and still felt confident you'd make it home? Well, Bruce, that is a great question. When this came in, I was trying to give that some consideration on an old motorcycle. I've been on some pretty old rides, and I built many. A lot of several flatheads from that generation, Harley-Davidson flatheads. And they didn't come out with recirculating oil until the knucklehead, so Let's see, Panheads. Trying to think of the oldest and longest ride. New York to Virginia Beach. So Syracuse to Virginia Beach. I don't know the mileage. This was on a flatty. I had all the time in the world to get there. I took about the same amount of time that normally when I was going to Daytona on a more modern machine. By modern, a panhead, a shovelhead, or an Evo, that I would take from Syracuse to Daytona Beach or somewhere in New York, Binghamton, Elmira, wherever, to Daytona Beach. So twice as long as normal. The thing I like about the flathead engines, and I don't, super early ones were a little bit weaker in their construction, older technology. The later ones, like the 43 UL, which is one of my favorites that I built. That one is the one that took me from Syracuse to Virginia Beach and then back up to Elmira, is it Rochester? Anyway, southern tier. But yeah, I fully expected, because when I put this together, it was like a Briggs and Stratton lawnmower engine. As you know, it's a side valve. It's not overhead valve or anything. It's very basic. So to me, I just kept an eye on the oil, the mechanicals. Had tools with me. So it was a great ride, and it was a great machine. It was funny how many people wanted to buy it. I pull into a donut shop to get some coffee, and guy come flying in. Hey, is that for sale? So crazy how things work out in life, isn't it? All right, let's take a look at another one.
Fans, ride number 2. The Bavarian Boxer, submitted by Klaus Richter from Munich, Germany. The ride, a 1967 BMW R69S. Not the fastest bike in the garage, but arguably the smoothest. Details. Opposed twin-cylinder boxer engine, shaft drive transmission, Earl's fork front suspension, original black paint with white hand pin stripes. The backstory: I purchased the motorcycle from the son of its original owner. The bike came with every service receipt dating back to the 1960s, neatly organized in a leather folder.
Well, I got to tell you, that was one clean and gorgeous machine. They look like that. I don't care if it's got the most horsepower in the garage or garage. All right. Klaus's question for old Grumpy was, would you rather own a motorcycle with a great story or a motorcycle with perfect paint? Klaus, that is a very good question. Let's see. Great story. I don't know. I like great stories. I really do. We name all of our wind splitters here, so our street bikes are all named. We have Flashpoint. We have the Pale Horse TX 750 or TX 45, Phoenix Rising. So you'll get to see those next week, Cats and Kittens in the UK. I hope you're enjoying the show. Let's see. Perfect paint is nice. Here's the thing, Klaus. For me, that ride that you got, that's drop dead gorgeous. I don't know how you got that thing so clean, but that is beautiful. For me, I try my best to keep things waxed and polished and cleaned and best effort, look for the best chemicals, everything. But I like to, any machine that I'm going to keep, a lot of times we'll put something together, or we'll buy it, and we'll flip it, we'll sell it. But anything that I intend on keeping for any length of time, I like to ride them. Inherently with riding, you're going to get dings and scuffs. You do your best. So for me, love the perfect paint, but I got to tell you, something with a great story. Love to hear a great story. And I hope to hear from some of you cats and kittens out there getting a little lonely here. We seem to be broadcasting all right, so let's take a look at one more fans ride.
Fans Rides number 3. The Scottish single, narrated by Gracie, submitted by Angus McLaren from Inverness, Scotland. The Ride, a 1956 BSA Gold Star, one of Britain's most respected sporting singles, still running strong after 7 decades. Details: 500 cubic centimeter single-cylinder thumper, a Mall GP carburetor, Lucas headlamp, and original style instruments, hand-painted red and gold pinstriping. Backstory: Angus inherited the bike from his grandfather, who rode it to local hill climbs throughout the Highlands. Every winter, he swears he's going to restore it completely, but every spring, he decides he'd rather ride it.
Another cracking machine for sure. Angus. Yeah. Keep that right in the family, brother. That is a nice machine. Looks pretty darn good. Looks like a pretty high-end rider as far as I'm concerned. Now, Angus's question for old Grumpy is, what's more fun to ride, a high-horsepower bike or a lightweight machine that you can use 100% of? Here's the ongoing dispute amongst a lot of street bikers, street riders. There's a lot of trikes out there, along with bikes, quads even. So now, that bike is just amazing. Light bikes that are nimble, that you can get through. If you're in the city, that's what you're gonna want. If you're out in the high desert out here, you know our speed limits are 85, sometimes 75, sometimes lower. But you get out onto the open road, and then sometimes you see a sign, speed limit. What's the point? So that's where you want those high horsepower machines. And I've ridden both, of course. For me at my age, something light and nimble, but also of my geometry. I'm not a small guy by any, height-wise, etc. Lost half my body weight, so small. I take up kind of smaller seats on the airplane nowadays than I used to, for sure. But anyway, my point being is, those light, nimble bikes, as long as I can fit on them, I kind of lean. If I can use 100% of them, have a lot of fun, that's where I have more fun. Now, those big horsepower machines, we'll take you through the shop next week, show you some of the stuff that we build, some of the stuff that we tinker on, customize. And as you know, we make parts and accessories. Every once in a while, we'll do a full build. But there's a time and a place for everything. I guess it's up to your personal situation and personal preference. But if you're just talking just fun, having a 31-inch thumper, I don't know how you can have much more fun than that. Really. So, great question, Angus. So let's see. Again, getting kind of lonely here. I even see my old buddy from Arizona must have dropped off. Well, hopefully we can pick him back up in the U.S. episode in just a few hours. Let's see. How are we doing on time, Mortimer? Let's see. We've just about reached the end. So, if there are any questions or anything that you would like to see us feature on future episodes of the Handlebar Life, please hit us up. Also, click on the links. Check out the merch. We've got shirts, rocks glasses, coffee mugs. Love the coffee mugs. Obviously, beanies. Check it out. If you want to join members only club or join us on school, there's so much information. If you want to repair, maintain, or customize your wind splitter and get a hold of me directly or somebody out there in the shop that can maybe walk you through or maybe talk you out of a bad decision, or, try to give good advice. If we don't have good advice, we don't give any advice at all. We try to stay away from bad advice because it is what it is. It's bad. Also, make sure, do yourself a solid. Bikers Hangout Radio. I'm telling you, when you get on Bikers Hangout Radio, start listening to the Reverend Womble and our dear friend India Hayes and her new show. Congratulations, India, on your new show, Ride the Wind. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait. Yeah, do yourself a solid. It's free. Man. Apple Store or the Google Store, Google Play, whatever they call it. Yada, yada. Yeah, I know. I'm a little behind the times. But, anyhow, until next time, remember what Bronson would say. Hang in there. And please, cats and kittens, let's see. Let's get over here.